Yeah, I'm never getting divorced again.
Yeah.
Even if we hate each other, I'm not going to
We
get
just have
divorced.
different homes or
That's
something,
fine.
but we're not going to hate each other.
We have enough homes, but yes.
Yeah.
It's not easy being married to me.
Welcome back to Celebrity News Addict. Firstly, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for all of the support while I took a little break over the last couple of months. I'm pleased to say I'm back and excited to bring you even bigger and juicier gossip than ever before. So, today we'll be diving into the explosive and shocking unravelling of Denise Richards' marriage to her husband of almost 7 years, Aaron Phypers. In just a few months, the pair went from never getting divorced to filing court papers over spousal support, domestic violence, and assault, with Denise being granted a temporary restraining order against Aaron just a few days ago on Wednesday, July 16th. So, in this video, we'll be getting into all the shocking details about what's really going on in this heartbreaking divorce battle, from what triggered the divorce filing on July 4th to the pair's shocking expenses, Aaron's pleas for spousal support, and the downward spiral of accusations between the pair, with Aaron now accusing Denise of infidelity. From debt collection to domestic assault, toxic relationships to spousal support showdowns, we've got a lot to cover. Before we start, I want to issue a trigger warning that some of the topics discussed in this video are distressing, so please watch cautiously. I will leave links to support resources in the comments and timestamps on screen so you can skip ahead in the triggering parts. Right, let's get into it. So, how did this all begin? Let's rewind and unpack everything that led to this messy, toxic, and very public split. Denise first met Aaron in 2017 at his wellness clinic, Quantum 360, while seeking preventative DNA repair. The pair hit it off and began dating in June that year. During one of her first episodes on RHOBH Season 9, Denise said, quote, "So, I met him at his centre doing DNA repair, anti-aging, and that sort of thing." Adding, "Then, one time, we had sex in one of his rooms. We've been inseparable ever since." At the time, Aaron was still technically married to his then-wife, Nicolette Sheridan. The pair had tied the knot in December 2015, separated just 6 months later, and their divorce wasn't finalised until August 2018. 1 full year into his relationship with Denise. Meanwhile, Denise's first marriage was no less dramatic. She married Charlie Sheen in 2002 and famously filed for divorce in 2005 while pregnant with their daughter Lola. Speaking on their divorce in Denise Richards and Her Wild Things, which aired earlier this year, Denise stated her reasons for filing were to do with Charlie's struggles with addiction and sobriety. She said, quote, "Charlie and I were married for 4.5 years before I filed," adding, "He had been sober for about 4 years and very committed to his sobriety, and I never thought someone that committed could fall off and fall back into that, because I, at the time, hadn't really been around it." She continued, quote, "Right after I got pregnant with Lola, it started to turn fast," adding, "One day he went to work. There was an awful evening the night before, and I packed my shit, packed Sammy's stuff, called my housekeeper to come, and we went to the Beverly Hills Hotel. And I filed for divorce in between dropping them off at the hotel and a table reading. After a turbulent divorce, which took a big toll on Denise's acting career, with fans at the time siding with Charlie, their divorce was finalised in 2006, and Denise didn't marry again until Aaron. So, Aaron and Denise got married on September 8th, 2018, just weeks after his divorce from his ex-wife Nicolette was finalised. The pair tied the knot in Cypress Sea Cove in Malibu, with about 40 guests alongside Bravo production and crew, as the wedding was filmed for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 9, Denise's first season on the show. In a statement at the time, Denise said, quote, "I'm so happy to officially be married to the love of my life. adding, "I can't wait for everyone to go on this incredible journey with me this season on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's been a wild ride so far." The pair never had kids together, but Denise shares Sammy, 21, and Lola, age 20, with Charlie Sheen, and adopted Eloise, now aged 14, in 2011, long after her divorce from Charlie. Aaron also legally adopted Eloise in 2019, though didn't make any plea for shared custody over her in his court filings, but we'll get into that shortly. So, while they were all loved up, Denise was proud to boast that Aaron was a natural stepfather. Back in 2019, she told She Knows, quote, "He and I are definitely great partners with the kids, and we're definitely on the same page, which makes it so much easier." She continued, "We have a strong family unit. We're very secure, and I'm so happy that Eloise has such a wonderful dad, and my girls have a great stepdad." Even after her stint on RHOBH, Denise continued to share her love for Aaron and post about the positive impact he's had on her family. In July 2021, she shared a Father's Day post to Instagram celebrating Aaron. The post said, quote, "Happy Father's Day to my wonderful, loving husband. You're the best dad ever to our Eloise. And also, being a step-parent isn't an easy road. Thank you for being there for all us girlies. Thank God for our boy fur babies to help balance all the estrogen in our home. Love you, baby." Publicly, Denise and Aaron have always acted like soulmates. In fact, in 2022, when Denise made the decision to join OnlyFans, Aaron was as supportive of this decision as any other. At the time, an insider told Us Weekly, quote, "Aaron is right behind Denise and loves how confident and empowered she's being. They have a very healthy and secure relationship, a white-hot love life, and he's more attracted to her than he's ever been." And the pair continued to show a loved-up side of themselves on Denise's reality show, which aired earlier this year. But privately, there were cracks. Just a couple of months ago, in April, Denise's daughter Sammy revealed on TikTok that she was, quote, "not even that close with Aaron," saying, "We don't ever hang out, we never talk. He makes her happy, but we're not close." Then Sammy posted this cryptic TikTok.
If you're dating someone toxic, but you don't really know if they're toxic, like deep down you know, but you're like, is it that bad? Like, I can look past this. Well, he's so good to me some days, but then other days he treats me like shit. You need to ask yourself, if you had a daughter and she was dating a man like this, what would you tell her? And then boom, you're like, okay, I would tell her to break up with him, block him, move on. Like, he's a piece of shit, treats her like shit. And I don't know, that works for me because sometimes it's so easy for me to like overlook everything. But if I'm imagining having a kid and she's getting treated like this, absolutely the fuck not.
Then, after almost 7 years of marriage, an explosive blowout on July 4th led to Aaron filing for divorce at the Stanley Moss Courthouse in LA just last week on July 7th. According to the Daily Mail, close friends of Denise and Aaron have said, quote, "All they were doing was fighting. It was very toxic." And it seems that Independence Day was the final straw for them both. It was reported that over the holiday weekend, the once loved up couple had a, quote, "blowout fight." A source claimed, quote, "They have been having trouble for some time, but they had a row over the weekend where they basically were like, F you." And he marched off to file for divorce, heading straight to the courthouse on the Monday. In his filing, Aaron cited the classic irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split. And while fans were shocked when this hit headlines last week, it was made all the more shocking when fans reminded us about Denise's statement on Denise Richards and her wild things back in March, when she said, quote, "Even if we hate each other, I'm not gonna effing get divorced." Let's have a quick reminder.
Yeah, I'm never getting divorced again.
Yeah.
Even if we hate each other, I'm not going to
Yeah, we
get
just have
divorced.
different homes or
That's
something, but
fine.
we're not gonna hate each other.
We have enough homes, but yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, honey.
Love you, baby.
I love you too.
Well, let's just say, spoiler alert, they hate each other now. In fact, a source close to Denise said she's, quote, "devastated and relieved at the same time," explaining she was mentally exhausted from the fighting and is glad that it's over. The source said, quote, "She is 100% not looking forward to the divorce because he's made it clear that he won't go quietly, and she now has to gear up for a battle, which isn't what she wants." The Daily Mail source also noted that the estranged couple's finances played a role in their issues, claiming that their marriage was based on the philosophy that she earns and he spends. Then, on July 12th, a source revealed to Us Weekly that, quote, "They love each other, but they haven't been happy," adding, "He filed for divorce, but she can't continue like this either." The insider also said, quote, "She's loved him for all he's done and supported his dreams. But it's also been a big financial burden on her that she can't continue to carry." They added, "It took a toll on both of them." And as of July 16th, another source told Mail Online that Aaron has filed for divorce as a way of spiting Denise. They said, quote, "The last thing she wanted was another divorce, so he gave her a divorce," adding, "Aaron wanted to hurt her, and he has. Meanwhile, the last thing he wants is to be broke, so she's cutting off his cash flow." Speaking of cash flow, let's get into what Aaron is asking for in his divorce filing before getting into Denise's heartbreaking accusations, legal response, and restraining order. So, Aaron is demanding spousal support, claiming that Denise makes $250,000 a month, with $185,000 coming from OnlyFans, brand deals, and reality TV, while claiming that he has made $0 over the past 12 months after shutting down his business and relying solely on Denise's income. The closure of his business, by the way, is a whole lawsuit in itself that we'll get into in a couple of minutes. Speaking to Us Weekly on July 12th, an insider explained that instead of pursuing a career in recent months, Aaron, quote, "gave up a lot to help Denise day to day. He has taken care of the kids, the pets, his parents, Denise, and all her work for OnlyFans, and has fixed up the houses they've lived in." The source hinted at how much the financial burden of Aaron not working was weighing on their marriage, stating, quote, "They wouldn't be making ends meet without OnlyFans, as Denise is allegedly within the top 1% of creators on the platform." The insider added, "It saved them financially, and Denise has supported him financially, backed all his endeavours, and it's been a drain on their finances." Speaking on their financial situation, the source also said, quote, "He's done a lot for her, but at the end of the day, he hasn't brought in any money to the marriage. They have both worked their asses off, only hers has been profitable and his hasn't." So, after stating he earns absolutely nothing and relies 100% on Denise's income, Aaron went on to request 50% of the couple's production company, Smoke and Mirrors Entertainment, which was involved in producing Denise's reality series earlier this year. And while fighting over the company is a top priority, Aaron was not interested whatsoever in making a plea for joint custody over the pair's adopted daughter, Eloise. In fact, according to reports, Aaron ticked the box to say they had no children together. Despite seemingly not fighting for his daughter, according to People magazine, Aaron has asked to keep the couple's assets and debts as separate property. The only other requests Aaron made in the filing were for the return of his power tools, his Shelby GT500 supercar, and his 2018 Indian Dark Horse motorcycle, literally listing these as his only assets. As for the couple's expenses, he says they were spending an unbelievable $105,000 a month. Let's break that down. According to Aaron, the couple was spending $18,000 on rent, though Denise says they were living in 3 separate rented townhouses, $20,000 on clothing, $15,000 on dining out. Remember, this is per month. $15,000 on entertainment, gifts, and vacations, $10,000 on groceries and household supplies, $8,000 on utilities, $7,000 on childcare for Eloise, $5,000 for home maintenance and repairs, $5,000 for laundry and cleaning services, $1,500 for cars and transport, and $500 for telephone, cell phone, and email. Aaron also claimed he spent absolutely no money on insurance, savings, investments, or charitable donations. So, how did Denise react to all of this? Well, as of July 16th, a source told Mail Online that Denise has yet to respond to the filings, but she has told her friends that Aaron has hugely overestimated her income. She has made it clear that she won't be able to meet his demands for spousal support or be able to cover his expenses. Then, on July 17th, People magazine released an article discussing how Denise has accused Aaron of domestic violence and has been granted a temporary restraining order against him. We're going to get into the details of her accusations now, so please skip ahead if you need to. I'll leave the timestamp on the screen. So, in Denise's court documents, she shared details and photos accusing Aaron of physical assault. She also alleged that Aaron has, quote, caused me at least 3 concussions. Denise said she has been afraid to report Aaron's alleged behaviour to the police because, quote, he has repeatedly threatened to kill himself and me if I reported him to the police. In the documents, Denise alleged that on July 4th, Aaron, quote, got within 2 inches of my face and screamed degrading profanities. In the distressing statement, she said that when she threatened to call the police on July 5th, Aaron said, quote, I would like to see the cops take me away. I will blow everything up if they try. Denise also claimed that Aaron owns at least 8 unregistered guns and multiple bulletproof vests. Later in the documents, Denise accused her ex of going through her phone and laptop while she slept and putting her messages on his laptop. She alleged, quote, Aaron woke me up and screamed at me, you effing bitch. I went into your computer and saw your text messages. After a lot of distressing allegations like these, Denise requested that Aaron return her laptop, all photos, recordings, and phones, adding that she wanted him to be, quote, prohibited from using, delivering, copying, printing, or disclosing any text messages, emails, photos, notes, or other content from my cell phone or laptop or any other electronic device. Finally, she requested that Aaron pay for her legal expenses, as well as other expenses caused by the alleged abuse, and she requested that Aaron attend a 52-week batterer intervention program. Clearly, Denise's allegations and evidence provided were enough for the judge, as she was granted a temporary restraining order from the Superior Court of California on Wednesday, July 16th. Denise did not request a restraining order for her children and also stated they share no minor children. So, maybe Aaron never adopted Eloise after all. Okay, that was really heavy and heartbreaking. I'm truly wishing Denise and her children all the best in this horrifying time. Now, let's move on to something slightly lighter and discuss how Denise and Aaron ended up in this place where he's closed his businesses and she was making all the money. Then we'll get into Aaron's cheating allegations from Saturday, July 19th, in his interview with TMZ. So, now it's time to talk about Aaron's businesses, or what's left of them. Aaron founded his own wellness company, Quantum 360, also known as Quantum Epigenetics Consulting LLC, the place where him and Denise first met. However, after years in business, a source told the Daily Mail that the business, quote, cost Aaron a fortune and became too expensive to operate and get the machines he needed and to pay rent. It got to the point where Denise was, quote, unwilling to invest in it. So Aaron was forced to shut down Quantum 360 on October 1st, 2024. But this decision was clearly well overdue, as he had been having trouble with the law for a while over debts that were racking up against the business. In fact, in July 2022, Aaron and his company were sued by the Creditors Adjustment Bureau over a $190,000 business loan that he took out in late 2019 and later defaulted on. Phypers confessed to missing payments over the years, blaming the pandemic for the debt that he was in. Although he reached a settlement at first, Phypers defaulted again after making only $40,000 in payments. So, in July 2024, he was court-ordered to pay the Creditors Adjustment Bureau $228,000, leaving the business struggling. When Aaron didn't or couldn't pay the ordered amount, the Creditors Adjustment Bureau took steps to involve Denise, seeking permission from the court to seize her assets as payment for the debt. The debt collectors argued that Denise, as Aaron's spouse at the time, was, quote, responsible for the community property debts. They also pointed out that Aaron had not provided any evidence that his and Denise's property were separate, suggesting the couple might not have had a prenup detailing the separation of their assets. Yet another housewife caught out with no prenup. Anyway, the Bureau explicitly stated that if a prenup did exist, Phypers would have presented it to clearly mark which assets belonged to him versus Denise. However, Aaron's attorneys opposed the motion to recover the debts from Denise, claiming that the debt collector failed to find evidence that the couple's assets were community property. His team argued that married couples can have agreements that change the character of assets and earnings. An LA Superior Court judge ultimately denied the Creditors Adjustment Bureau's motion to compel Denise to pay Aaron's outstanding debt. Despite this ruling, the case against Aaron for the $228,000 debt incurred by Quantum 360 is still ongoing, with the next hearing set for September. And sadly, that's not all. There are more skeletons in Aaron's closet, including the lawsuit filed by Rupert Perry in November 2024 for breach of oral contract and fraud. So, who is Rupert Perry and why is he suing Aaron? Well, Perry's wife, Eleanor Katziula-Beale, was an award-winning art director and one of Aaron's former clients, having been treated by him at Quantum 360 in 2023. According to the suit, Aaron promised that his stem cell treatment plan would, quote, cure or at least ameliorate her condition, allegedly claiming a 98% success rate and promising a 50% refund of the $126,000 treatment if it didn't work. Well, sadly, the treatment didn't work for Eleanor, but may have actually had the opposite effect. After the treatment, an MRI scan allegedly showed Eleanor's tumours had grown by 25%, and she later passed away from cancer in May 2024. After the treatment failed, Perry requested the $63,000 refund that Aaron had promised him, but Aaron ignored the request. This led Perry to file a suit against him, where he is seeking the $63,000 owed to him plus additional damages via a jury trial. However, a source claimed that Aaron now states he was, quote, just the middleman who provided a space for the procedure to take place, and that the company providing the service was responsible for refunds. As of the most recent update, just last month, on June 9th, the court ordered that the Malibu Times publish Perry's lawsuit, as Aaron's business office was, quote, closed and empty, and his residence was unknown. That's now $63,000 plus damages and the $228,000 from the previous debt claims against the business, leaving Aaron in the position to have to come up with almost $300,000 while apparently earning nothing and relying on Denise, his now estranged wife. No wonder he's requesting spousal support. And there's even more debt where that came from, as back in 2018, Phypers registered Quantum RHOBH LLC as a charity with a mission to, quote, research, educate, and implement new innovative technologies for optimal health and wellness. Although the company initially received tax-exempt status from the IRS, its status was revoked in March 2022 because it failed to file tax returns for 3 consecutive years. Denise was named Secretary and Chief Financial Officer in February 2024, just months before Quantum 360 shut down, while Aaron was still CEO. Something tells me that Aaron was trying to pin the blame on Denise as financial officer, but who knows what's going on there. I wouldn't be surprised if the IRS are onto this very soon. So, with a whole load of debt and lawsuits, an impending divorce, battle over spousal support, and temporary restraining order filed for domestic violence, you'd think the pair are already dealing with enough. Well, Aaron decided to add more fuel to the fire just a couple of days ago on July 19th, when he accused Denise of having an affair. According to TMZ, Aaron sat with them to conduct an exclusive interview where he explained that at the beginning of this year, he learned of Denise's alleged hookup with another man when he found text messages between them on Denise's laptop. This already seems to back up Denise's allegations that he would go through her messages and allegedly reacted violently to those he found. Anyway, Aaron claimed that the texts included several selfies shared between Denise and the other man, messages of her wishing him sweet dreams, and also messages where the pair tried to arrange to meet at a hotel so she could sneak him into her room. Aaron told TMZ that he confronted Denise about the alleged affair and they decided to stay together until the fight on July 4th. According to his discussion with TMZ, Aaron says that the fight started because his phone had been missing for more than a day, and when he questioned Denise about it, allegedly he says she hit him and scratched him. According to Aaron, he later found his phone smashed in the recycling bin. Aaron told TMZ that he thinks Denise smashed his phone because it contained evidence of her affair. He alleges that Denise had texted his mum that weekend to say she would be divorcing him, so he rushed to court on Monday to beat her to it. When asked about Denise's allegations against him in the interview, Aaron denied all accusations of physical and emotional abuse, saying he never once laid a hand on Denise. He claimed that she sustained the black eye presented in her court filing by falling when she was drunk. He alleges that she has taken out the restraining order against him to make him look like the bad guy publicly. Let's take a look.
What's your kind of explanation? Because you say you deny all abuse allegations ever.
I did not hit my wife in the face, ever. I grabbed her and restrained her. She falls down a lot. And it's embarrassing, and people know it.
That specific incident that she said, I believe it happened in 2022. The black guy. Yeah. You do know how she got that?
She stumbled and hit a pole with a light on it. I was in my office. I have other people that were there. A good friend of mine just reached out and said, "Oh my God, I brought her arnica from Turkey to help her," and it just clipped her eye. I mean, the eye is the easiest thing to get a contusion, blow it up. A simple tap, but I've never struck her in the face. I'm appalled that she even said that. I can't do this. She's not changing. She needs help. I love her. I want her to get help. The fact that she put this thing with me beating her, I'm like devastated. I'm really heartbroken. I didn't want this, and I wanted to work it out, but she's got to get help because it's not for me now. It's for herself and her daughters. And I'm really worried about Eloise. Like, it's not a good situation. So she needs to get help. She's got to get cleaned up and be responsible and own what she's doing, because that's it.
So, where are we now? Denise's show, Denise Richards and Her Wild Things, aired earlier this year. But don't expect a season 2. Allegedly, Bravo had always intended for the series to be a, quote, limited run series, and it appears it has reached its limit. Despite Aaron allegedly hoping that the show would, quote, catapult him to reality stardom, according to reports in the Daily Mail, an insider said, quote, no one cares about him on the show. Without her, he has no reality career. But Denise's time on screen may not be over quite so soon, as rumours fly surrounding the cast for the next season of RHOBH. It has been leaked that there is a possibility that Denise might return to the show as a guest, maybe to spill on the divorce. It seems like the stage is set for this to take place, as both Teddi Mellencamp and Erika Jayne have weighed in on the news of the shocking divorce. On the most recent episode of their Diamonds in the Rough podcast, which aired on Friday, July 11th, Teddi and Erika addressed the split, admitting to openly despising Aaron. Let's take a look.
She said, I guess like 6 months ago, that she would never believe in divorce. There's no chance that divorce could ever happen. She's no divorce, never have one. And then I'm like, he fucking filed on July 4th? He's not our favorite person.
Well, no, he's not yours and my favorite person. But look, he's asking her for spousal support, okay?
And he's asking for her for a lot.
Yeah. And she's a working mom. You know, she's got Eloise. She's got the 2 other girls that are older, obviously. But come on, man, like, don't do this.
Hold on. He checked that they didn't have any kids together?
interesting you should bring that up because I clocked that too. I thought he had adopted Eloise.
They told us he did.
So then it says in the reporting that they have no children together.
What a dickwad. It's because he doesn't want to have to ever pay her anything.
I don't know what it is. I just know that he should not be asking for spousal support, in my opinion.
Also, have you been to his offices? It says he
No.
has absolutely zero income. I haven't been to them, but I've seen pictures of it.
I haven't.
It is a ginormous place
This is what I don't like.
that I'm assuming that she pays for.
I don't know. Like, look, we can't assume anything. We're not inside, but I'm saying this. Leave her the fuck alone.
Leave her alone.
Leave her alone.
And you're gross, douche lord.
Just go away.
Sorry, very few men do I despise as much as that guy.
Yeah, well,
He's easy to despise.
That's all the news we have as of the date of recording on Saturday, July 19th. But with new accusations coming out every day, this shocking divorce battle is far from over. What do you guys think about all of this? Are any of the accusations true on either side? Do you think Denise will be back on Bravo to tell her side of the story? Or will production let this one play out off screen? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. One thing I want to say is that this whole situation is unbelievably sad. There's very heavy allegations being thrown out from both sides, and poor Eloise is stuck in the middle as this plays out. I truly wish the whole family well in this trying time. So, thank you for sticking with me if you've watched to the end. This was a tough one to discuss. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more reality TV news and updates as they happen. Thanks for watching. It's great to be back.